Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice might be the worst gaming experience I have ever had, which is shocking to me due to the almost unanimous praise it has received over the years. Never have I had a game seem to intentionally waste my time as much as this one. I legitimately don't even know where to begin. I initially made a scathing, incoherent half-hour rant, but still didn't feel I covered it all. The first thing you do in this game is solve a door puzzle by lining up obscure shapes in the game's environment to progress. And then you do that for the rest of the game. I'm not joking. Unlocking doors might be one of the oldest mechanics in games dating back to Doom. But at least in that game, you had fun to do in between them. I cannot stress enough how insulting this game's use of this singular puzzle is. The first time I came across it, I went, yeah, that's pretty cool. The second time was more like, alright, well, what will this game have next? Nothing. There is nothing else. You scan the rune, then run around the environment trying to align random shit to create the shape. Sometimes the game is extremely blatant with where the shape you need to find is. Other times, you're running around like a total asshole at a complete loss. I shouldn't say this game only has one puzzle. It has 4. There are 2 perspective puzzles, one where going through a gateway reveals a hidden path to your objective, one where you have to line up shimmering fragments to assemble stairs or a bridge. Then there's a mechanic where you seemingly time travel to a different time to traverse an area in different stages of decay. When these are used, they make you use your brain, if only a little, and are visually interesting, but they all take a backseat to the stupid door puzzle. The second thing you'll be doing a frequent amount of is combat. Though satisfying at times when you get a perfect parry, it's extremely elementary, which is a term that applies to just about every aspect of this game. You parry, attack, and dodge. That's about it. Combat is flashy and is probably the only thing in this entire game that even resembles fun, but even that falls into bullshittery fast. I think there is about 6 enemy variations in this game, and by 6, I mean 6 different muscly shirtless guys with different weapons. You got the shirtless guy with the sword with the deer skull on his head, you got the shirtless guy with the maces and the helmet on his head, you got the shirtless guy with the axe and the tree roots on his head. At a glance, they are easily discernible, but how generic and boring can you get? So when you enter a fighting zone, they spawn in varying numbers and begin to lumber towards you. Why weren't we given a throwing knife or some other distance weapon to be able to aggro one of these guys from the bunch to attack first? Instead, they all lump together and combat can turn into this gangbang real quick. You also can't break from combat. Once they arrive, you are forced into a combat mode. Though you can switch targets, there is no way to disengage and get some distance to get a better position. Instead, you can dodge left or you can dodge right. Now, you can do this sort of gallop backwards, but the camera is always pushed in during combat, making viewing your surroundings difficult, especially when they just spawn in at random anywhere behind you. The final core pillar of this game is the cutscenes, where you have Senua screaming, yelling directly into the camera, or screaming. The story in this game is so dull while trying to be artsy. It's clear this game was someone's passion project, but go make a movie instead. I had zero attachment to Senua or anything that happens in this game. The aesthetic is atmospheric and trippy, but there is no substance to utilize it. Senua is trying to bring her lover, Dillion, back from the dead by going to hell to kill Hela, the goddess of death. Like, how do you make that boring? But this game seemed up to the challenge by throwing dull, uninspired, and repetitive at you so much that this game would have been 2 hours long without all its blatant filler. Like, this game is barely a game. What this game calls gameplay feels like a chore. Literally everything I had to do made me beg for it to end. Whether doing the brain-numbing door puzzles, meaningless combat, or watching Senua whimper about the darkness or Dillion or her father or her mother or whatever. This game was made with the intent to simulate schizophrenia. That's not a joke, that is real. There are voices that are constantly assaulting you from all over the soundscape, and though interesting at first, it grew to be extremely annoying. Yeah, I get it, that's kind of the point, and kudos for incorporating mental health into a video game, but oh my god, did I wish there was an option to just turn them off. And to add to this, the only collectible in the game, more Norse symbols, trigger a reading of a story from Norse mythology. They're not hard to find at all, but after about 2 hours, I actively avoided them as to not have another disembodied voice badgering me as I walked around looking for a tree or a plank to line up to unlock a door. This game truly tested my patience like no other. The only reason that I completed it was so I could say that I had for this critique, and because of the faint chance it might have stuck the landing. But of course, this game fumbles the ball there too. It makes me wonder if anyone at Ninja Theory, a veteran studio in the industry for decades, even played this game in full. I don't get how any developer could playtest this game and say, yep, this is good. But it's an experience, dude. Well, I am happy for you if that's how you felt, but for me, this game was a dull, tedious, repetitive, uninspired mess that I pray to never have to think about again.